The available information pertains to a message that was edited on September 18, 2003 at 7:39 a.m. This indicates a modification of content by a user. Understanding the context surrounding this edit requires further investigation into the content of the message itself, as well as the platform or system on which it was posted. Analyzing the original and edited versions of the message can provide insights into the nature of the changes made. This could range from simple grammatical corrections to more substantive alterations that significantly impact the meaning or intent of the message. The user's motivation for editing the message is also a key consideration. Were they correcting an error, clarifying a point, or intentionally altering the message's meaning? Understanding the platform or system where the message was posted is crucial for interpreting the edit. Different platforms have different features and functionalities that could influence the editing process. For example, some platforms may provide a detailed history of edits, allowing users to see exactly what was changed and when. Others may only show the final edited version of the message, making it more difficult to track the changes. Furthermore, the platform's moderation policies and user guidelines may also play a role. Edits that violate these policies could be subject to review or even removal by moderators. Analyzing the message edits can also shed light on user behavior and interaction within a specific online community or platform. By tracking edits over time, it is possible to identify patterns and trends in user behavior. For example, some users may be more prone to editing their messages than others. Some types of messages may be more frequently edited than others. This information can be valuable for understanding how users interact with each other and with the platform itself. In a technical context, message editing can involve a variety of processes depending on the underlying technology. If the message is stored in a database, the edit would typically involve updating the corresponding record in the database. This could involve modifying existing fields or adding new fields to the record. The specific SQL command used to perform the edit would depend on the database management system being used. In a client-server architecture, the editing process would typically involve the following steps. Firstly, the user initiates the edit on the client side. Secondly, the client sends a request to the server to update the message. Thirdly, the server validates the request and performs the update in the database. Fourthly, the server sends a response back to the client to confirm that the edit was successful. And fifthly, the client updates the display to reflect the changes. The communication between the client and server would typically be done using a protocol such as HTTP or WebSockets. The format of the data exchanged between the client and server could be in JSON or XML. When considering message edits, it is also important to consider the potential security implications. If the editing process is not properly secured, it could be vulnerable to attacks such as cross-site scripting, or XSS, or SQL injection. These attacks could allow malicious users to inject arbitrary code into the message or to gain unauthorized access to the database. To mitigate these risks, it is important to implement appropriate security measures such as input validation, output encoding, and access control. Input validation involves verifying that the data entered by the user is valid and does not contain any malicious code. Output encoding involves converting special characters into their HTML entities to prevent them from being interpreted as code by the browser. Access control involves restricting access to the editing functionality to authorized users only. In addition to security considerations, there are also privacy considerations to keep in mind. When a user edits a message, the original version of the message may still be stored in the system's logs or backups. This could potentially reveal information about the user that they did not intend to share. To protect user privacy, it is important to implement appropriate data retention policies and to ensure that old versions of messages are securely deleted when they are no longer needed. In summary, analyzing a message edit involves considering a variety of factors including the content of the message, the user's motivation for editing it, the platform or system on which it was posted, the technical processes involved, and the security and privacy implications. By carefully considering these factors, it is possible to gain a deeper understanding of user behavior and interaction within a specific online community or platform. Understanding the date and time of the edit, September 18, 2003, at 7:39 a.m., provides a starting point for further investigation.